Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss how, in addition to all the inherent problems that Brexit is going to cause people and business in the UK, we may compound the problem due to Boris Johnson's inability to communicate with us. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So, although we are definitely leaving the EU this Friday, that is now certain. There was a previous date when the government under Boris Johnson was also determined and equally sure that we would be leaving, do or die if you remember. In preparation for his first Brexit day of October the 31st last year, Johnson ordered a campaign in order to ensure that everyone was up to date with how life would change and what they needed to do in order to be not disadvantaged. All well and good, and exactly the sort of thing a government needs to do. So Johnson launched the Get Ready for Brexit campaign with a budget of £100 million. Didn't quite spend that, thank goodness, it was 43 million. But how effective was it? Well, if you were in Britain, I'm sure you saw it. I saw plenty of it. But the National Audit Office has announced the results of its assessment, and the conclusion is that it basically had no impact. Not that it didn't do enough to inform people, but that it literally didn't result in the country being any better informed than if the campaign had not run at all. They said that of the 4 options presented to ministers, they chose the most expensive one, but the number of people searching for information on Brexit during the campaign didn't actually increase compared to what it was normally. The auditors have said that there is no evidence that the higher cost methods that the government chose have had any benefit over cheaper alternatives. The Cabinet Office, who ran the campaign, didn't help themselves out, I thought, in their defence of the project because, first of all, they said they had to launch the campaign or else, there would be significant disruption. Well, no kidding. But their bosses in Cabinet keep telling us that we'll be fine with a no deal, there's nothing to worry about. But secondly, they said that they reckoned their campaign reached 99.8% of the population. Wow, that's pretty good. But if it had that sort of reach, how come the proportion of the population acting on the message never exceeded 37%? And remember, this was a comparable figure to those who were actively searching for that information before and after the campaign as well, because the campaign had no impact. And that's a major problem. If the message is getting to people, that's not where the problem is. The people whose job it was to get the message to us, they did their job. But if that message is getting to people, but they are not heeding it, then the message is not doing its job. It's not working in terms of persuading a population that it needs to do something. And now that we are leaving, and now that that is definite, this lack of judgment is going to matter a great deal. We are leaving. Boris Johnson claims that he's steering us towards almost complete divergence from the EU at the end of this year. For all the fancy terms that will be used to describe it, that is a hard Brexit. Unless, of course, Boris Johnson is lying about his intentions. Now, he may be. He has been known to tell the odd fib from time to time. But I'm going to take him at his word on this point until I get definite evidence to the contrary. So that means that at 2021, as it dawns, life in the UK will change. It will change for its people. It will change for its businesses. As such, it will be important to ensure that everyone is informed. At the moment, it could be said that the UK population is split between those who are massively opposed to Brexit and those of us are more likely to seek out that information, but also those who are in favour of Brexit. And those in favour are of the belief that everything will be wonderful. So why would they independently go and seek information about the consequences of Brexit without an effective campaign to do so, because they don't believe that there are consequences, apart from positive ones? And this is something that is naturally going to hamper any campaign to inform the public and businesses. The government is not being honest about the realities of Brexit. And that muzzles any campaign that they try and run. That means that they are always holding back information that the public will need for fear of causing panic. The problem being that the panic will be much worse, surely, when the realities actually hit. And then because people haven't been warned about these things, it's all right the government saying, well, we put a poster up near your house. If people weren't seized to go and find that information, they don't have that information, they don't know what's happening or what to do about it. And if there's a sudden event that causes millions of people all at once to then feel the need to go searching for that information at this point, Well, we know what will happen then. The systems designed to do so will just crash, exacerbating the problem. And if the people in government don't accept the failures of that campaign and learn lessons, then all of the problems that we will face next year, if, as I say, we take Johnson at his word, will be compounded by a lack of information for people and businesses as well. And that information has to get out sooner rather than later, especially for businesses who have to be able to train staff in order to be able to deal with the new increased levels of bureaucracy that Brexit is going to deliver. So I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, then please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.